Hi, good morning, everyone. In this wonderful morning, I'd like to greet you. How's it going? And I wish you all very good condition today. And I'm glad to be with you today because I can share what I know from some sources. But I'm not pretending to be the rightest one today in English lesson, in English grammar especially. But I want to share about what I know from some sources, and I'm sure that is valid sources. And last week I got a question from my student, and he's very special student because he's right now taking IELTS program. It stands for International English Language Testing System. It is very special program in becoming this course. And the question at the time was how to use must and have to. These two modal verbs are a very complex topic in English language because it's not relating to British English only. It is not relating to American English only, but it is relating to American English as well. Okay, before I begin my explanation today, I'd like to give you two examples. The first example is, let's say, I must decorate this house because there will be a party tonight for my son's birthday party, for example. And that's the second example is, I have to decorate this house because there will be party tonight for my son's birthday party tonight, for example. When I say I must decorate this house, it is true. And then when I say I have to decorate this house, it's also true. So what is the difference between these two expressions? The first expression, I must decorate this house because there will be a party tonight for my son's birthday tonight, for example. When I say this obligation comes from myself, means I myself, or I'm deciding myself to express the obligation. I'm deciding myself to express this obligation. So this obligation comes from the speaker, comes from me myself. So what about when I say I have to decorate this house? It's true because the obligation comes from the external factor, because my wife was telling me to do that maybe. So my wife, when she wants to say or wants to tell me to do something, so she says you must decorate this house because there will be a party tonight for our son's birthday party tonight. So she says you must because the obligation comes from my wife, comes from the speaker. It is called as personal obligation, or it is called also internal obligation, comes from the speaker, him or herself, like that. Okay. And then I read in certain grammar, and it's written there that must is much stronger than have to. Yes, that's right. It's because it sounds more formal, especially in written English. And especially in British English, because in British English must sounds more formal, especially in written English. When you go to the public area in Britain or in London City, for example, you go to the airport and you see the notice written there, all passengers must have valid ticket, for example. This is true. It's much stronger. It is written English. And must in British English sound more formal, especially in written English. Whereas have to is mostly used or spoken in spoken English, especially in British English. So even in British English, have to, it's used to state external obligation. Most of them use have to is for external obligation, means that the obligation comes from the outsider, not from the speaker. Whereas in American English, have to and must actually used for necessity. Both have the same function, but have to is much stronger because it's based on the rule and the law and even situation. Example of the situation is when somebody loses way to go somewhere, for example, to go to Hotel of Indonesia, for example, and asking you this question, please tell me or please show me the way to Hotel of Indonesia. And then you say, when you see the traffic light, you have to take a left turn and you go straight away, for example. So you say have to. Why do you say have to here? Because the obligation comes from the situation. If you don't, if the someone I mentioned just now doesn't take left turns, she or he will not be arriving at the destination. So I come to the conclusion that must is mostly used to state obligation that's come from the speaker or him or herself, or it is called as internal obligation or personal obligation, whereas have to is used to state necessity or the obligation that's come from the outsider, or it is called as external obligation. Thank you very much. Hopefully that this recording or this video is useful for everyone, especially for me, because I'm not native speaker, but I just want to share but what I know from some sources and I'm sure and those sources are very valid because explained by native speakers. Thank you very much. Bye.